very, very not formal here on the Lovecraft Easing podcast. So anyway, welcome to the Lovecraft Easing podcast. It's supposed to be a bunch of dorks, excluding Rick, sitting around talking about horror stuff. So
Pete. that's me.
Yeah.
Remember this from last time. Hey guys.
Hey.
Okay, so our guests today are Jed Shepherd and Trevor Henderson. Trevor's an artist, horror artist. Is probably an oversimplification, but we'll go with that for now. And
that covers it.
Yeah, and Jed Shepherd is a director, the director of Host, and
writer, except producer of Host, director of Ghosts.
Oh, right. Ghosts and Host. What are you doing?
I know
everything's rhyming.
The next one's going to be Toast.
Yeah.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the kitchen. Yes, Host writer, along with Gemma and Rob Savage.
And Rob, yeah.
And Ghosts is what's coming up. So let's do our normal introductions. Folks, these are two very nice guys who totally deserve all the attention they're getting lately. So I'm Mike Davis, Lovecraft Easing. Rick, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Rick Lay, writer in Pulp Magazine Collection.
And Pete, you made it. You gonna introduce yourself?
We can't hear you, Pete.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So 4 hours ago, I was, on the west coast of Florida, and now, thanks to the fabulous driving skills of my lovely and talented wife, who managed to stream through the wilds of the interior of Florida without getting pulled over. I'm here. So
you weren't driving, so you could play the YouTube video that I sent you.
You sent me a YouTube video?
Yeah, you said you were racing to get here on time, and I sent you the eastbound and down. Loaded up.
Yeah. There's no internet in the middle of nowhere.
Got a long way to go and a short time to get there. That's what I said. But you probably have all my emails routed to your trash folder.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's funny you say that because we were listening to Paul Williams.
Oh, nice.
And, it's kind of a stretch, but Trevor obviously gets it. Paul Williams is in Smokey and the Bandit films.
Oh, yeah.
He's
right.
Little Enos. So there's a slight connection.
Yeah. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So hey guys, you want to introduce yourselves? Trevor has gotten a lot of attention in the last couple of years due to his horror art. So
hello, I'm a illustrator who mostly does spooky horror stuff and makes up cryptids and ghosts and various things like that. And I'm based in Toronto in Canada. And I the last couple of years have been really good in terms of a few of my characters like Siren Head have caught on with the internet, which has been very humbling and very cool. And I've been asked to create some cool monsters like the Long Lady in Ghosts, the Jed Shepherd game coming out next year, I think, some point. Yeah.
Yeah. When Jed, why don't you introduce yourself, and then do you have a release date for that?
So my name's Jed Shepherd. I am one of the creatures that Trevor has designed. I'm very lifelike, almost human. But I only come out in the dark. I am the you probably know me best for being the writer, exec producer of Host, film that came out last year. And I am the writer, producer and director of Ghosts, and I'm an eater of toast. So that's me. And I'm doing films for Blumhouse and Studio Canal and a whole bunch of other things.
Very cool.
Which we can talk about later. But release date's the 22nd of February.
Good. Yeah.
Nice.
2 all the T's.
Yeah. I can't wait to play it. God, I'm so excited for it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not even into video games. My son is. I mean, I am, but I just don't play them too much. My idea of a video game growing up in the 80s was, interactive fiction on my Commodore 64. So
Nice.
Yeah,
It's like
I think I'm
Hitchhiker's
a
Guide
little
to the
older than you
Galaxy.
guys. Huh?
But like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Exactly.
like interactive game,
Infocom,
that kind of thing.
so forth. Yeah, Hitchhiker's
Nice.
Guide, Zork, all kinds of stuff.
Zork. Hmm.
You know, on the toast thing, Jed, did you know it's proven that all serial killers have eaten bread and toast at some point in their lives? So
Wow.
yeah, so watch out for
You're
that.
an FBI's dream. Yeah.
Hey, Matt's here.
Hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
Who are you?
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
You want to introduce yourself, Matt, and do you have a prize for this episode?
Yes, the prize this week is 2 paperbacks. They're Badass Fairies and Just Plain Bad. They date back about 12 years or so. They are Tales of Dark Elves. I'm going to post pictures on the Facebook page of the e-zine.
Okay.
But if you want to win these 2 paperback collections of Dark Elf stories, just put fairies in the subject heading and send an email to ezineprizes@gmail.com.
All right, let's talk to these guys. If you're new to the podcast, we do it every Sunday at 6. A couple other just mini things here. My cool son set this up. This is pretty new. Super chats or whatever, super stickers or something. I'm 50 years old, so I don't know what I'm talking about, other than people can leave like tips or something if they click those.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you can do that, or you can become a Patreon. Just Google Lovecraft e-zine Patreon, or look at the show notes if you want to support us. Okay, so can we kind of start from the beginning on ghosts, and what exactly is it? You know, if you're talking to somebody who's never heard of this, what would you say to them?
Ghost is a real-time live-action video game starring the cast of Host, and you play the underpaid, overworked producer of a reality TV show called Ghosts, and it's your job to keep everyone alive. It's your job to figure out what the Long Lady is and how to kind of navigate what she's all about. And you basically investigate this urban legend of the Long Lady, and it's real live action as well. It's not like sprites; it's live action.
So I read somewhere that it's playable only at 10 p.m. in your particular time zone.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine how this works. I said I'm not a gamer, but my son plays all the time. I've got a pretty good understanding as far as an observer. How will this actually work? I mean, are you filming the girls from Host? I'm trying to grasp how this will actually work. Is it live each time for the players?
Well,
seems kind of like
you are right to question it, because nobody's done anything like this before.
Yeah,
it is a brand new concept, and because I don't come from a games development background, I don't know what the rules are. I don't have the rule book, so I'm just kind of thinking, what's the coolest way to present this story? And this was the way I decided to do it. And because I don't have a boss, I'm just doing everything. I just said to the games company, I was like, "This is what I want to do. Is this possible?" And they said, "Well, technically it's possible, but why on earth would you want to do this?" And
because it's cool.
Because it's cool, but also because I really want to immerse the player into the idea that this is your job. This is a live show at 10 p.m. When this live show goes live, you have to be on the ball. So the game will only work at 10 p.m. If you try and play it at 9:59, you can't, because the show hasn't started, just like you're doing the job. So so basically at 10 p.m. the credits, the opening theme of this TV show starts, and then you've got to put together this show, but also you've got to make sure no one dies, and keep an eye out for stuff. And yeah, I mean that's the kind of main gist of it.
Well, I want to note that when I question it, it's from this. It's a very cool concept. I'm really excited to play it, and I'm not even a gamer. But yeah, I'm just trying to grasp how it will work a little bit. And it seems to me, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, like sort of a marriage of alternate reality gaming and video gaming, or is that not a good way to look at it?
Yeah, no, I get that. It's kind of a mix, like Hideo. Like I'm kind of really inspired by Hideo Kojima, and I feel like this is the kind of thing that he would like pull out the bag at some point. So, I'm just trying to do something that's different. It's my first ever game. I want it to kind of like put me on the map in terms of being someone who makes games, a games developer, creative, and it's already done the trick. So now I just need to keep going. And the most important thing is this game is entertaining and scary. Because if it's not, then I don't get to make another one. So,
Yeah.
and I want to make loads of games. I want to do films and games. So, but yeah, you are right. It is a mix between something in real life and fiction.
Well, I would imagine there's only an extent to which somebody who hasn't played the game yet can understand it. When you play the game, then you'll know more. So it's playable at 10 p.m. Is this like a limited release if we think of it as a film? Or can you play it anytime, like 2 years from now at 10 p.m.?
Yeah, you can play it. You can play it in the year 2088 if you want to, and it'll still be. Yeah, but it's very replayable because there are so many different ways you can play it, and the first run through, if you survive until the end, that'll be one version of the story.
So it's definitely not linear. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of different choices you can make, it sounds like.
Yeah, to give you an example, like when we're shooting it, there are 12 cameras running at once. Like I think someone a bit more sane than me would probably shoot one thing at a time, but I'm just like, no, the fun thing is just to have cameras absolutely everywhere, filming everywhere at once, just so you feel you have the option just to go anywhere in real time. So that's how I'm coming at it. And like my whole team is just like, why? because like we can make the rules. We don't have to like stick to what games companies have done before. We can just do whatever we want, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think it will work. So yeah, we're giving it a go anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a great idea, and you've got a lot of people looking forward to it. I mean, there's a lot of buzz on the internet about it. So, and I'm sure part of that is definitely due to Trevor. Trevor, Jed, how did you guys meet, and how did it come about that you're working on this project with Jed, Trevor?
I think I initially followed Jed because of Host. I saw it when it hit Shutter, and it was great. It blew me away. And then sometime later, obviously, Jed reached out and DM'd me about potentially doing some concept work for this long lady, this monster he had in mind.
And I was a big fan of Trevor's, by the way. I was a massive fan way back. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He liked you before it was cool to like you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now it is cool.
So yeah, and he had Jed had a really specific idea of what he wanted, which is always helpful. And we just did a few rounds of sketches, and there was one in particular that he was like, "That's it." And then I've been getting updates. Seeing the Jim Henson Studios puppet of the monster that I drew being made, and that's just incredible. It's one of those bucket list items you don't really think happening, but it happened.
Yeah,
it's
great.
It's very, very cool. I also was going to say I like that idea of it being an ARG, alternate reality game, kind of cross with a video game, because just Jed talking about how it's only live, like you're actually running the show at 10 p.m. It made me very stressed, as if I was an actual producer having to deal with a live show. So I think that's absolutely going to function in the way that you're intending there.
We're all stressed for Jed right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I never get stressed. I'm just excited, and I think I just throw myself into it. And I just think this is just, we're living in an exciting time where someone who's never made a game before can make a game that's one of the most waited for games of the year, basically. But just on Trevor, obviously he has the ability to conjure nightmarish figures out of thin air and just and they just catch on, and it's like barely anybody like has that ability, like outside of like H.R. Geiger or someone like that, to create these like creatures that are more than just like pen and ink or like digital art. And yeah, and like I can't think of a single other person, and that's why when I was like, okay, I need a creature that will stand the test of time, and
Yeah.
like I'm like, there's only one person to go to, it's Trevor Henderson.
Thank you.
So yeah, like there wasn't another option. There wasn't like any other option, and then it was like, okay, so who makes this? And there was only one option, Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and
Yeah.
that's what we did. So
And can't get over that. That's so cool.
yeah.
You know, with Trevor, with your art, and Jed, with Trevor's art, it seems like it's not just how cool the monsters are, but your brain, the way that he draws them and the way that he, you know, like places them on road scenes or abandoned areas. Half of your brain is going, this could be real, you know.
Yeah, that's the goal. It's just I've always kind of thought, like, if I can trick somebody who sees it into thinking that it might be real for like a half second before your brain
Right.
kicks in and you can see the brush strokes or whatnot, if I can get that moment, then I'm happy, and I count it as a success, I guess.
Well, you know, I was thinking before the show, you know, how Slender Man's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And you know, the lore of Slender Man and the different things, that projects that have been made, films that have been made, YouTube streams,
Marble
and then-
Hornets and all that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I look at your pulling it up now, you're like, there's this list of monsters that you've created, and they all seem to me like Slender Man on steroids. You know, you've got all these different monsters that you can pull from.
There's a lot of skinny boys in my roster. Yeah, a lot of slender type characters.
Skinny legends, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, horror writers and editors and readers, we often talk about that when you show the monster, it instantly somehow gets less scary.
Yeah.
You know, when you're hearing the monster on the other side of the door and you can't picture it, but you can hear it or sense it.
Totally.
Then, yeah, exactly. And so the challenge is, you know, you can do that in a book, but then the challenge is doing that in a movie. And the real challenge to me, it seems like, showing the monster, but yet still having that feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially in films. If I'm watching a horror movie and they show the monster like a fraction of a second too much, I recognize it, and it really bothers me.
Right.
So that's really important when I'm making these images, because I kind of treat them like the reveal in a movie, but you just get that one frame, right, to play with. So a lot of the time I'll draw a whole monster and then I'll spend like, 10 minutes making it disappear, because it has to shrink back into the picture, and I'll paint over a lot of stuff. So you have to reach this goal, this like middle line of like, oh, I've shown enough so people can grasp what it is and what it looks like, but also not too much where like all the seams are showing, and I kind of ruin the atmosphere of the picture that I was donated or found.
Yeah, like the long lady in that picture that you and Jed put out.
I literally painted the one with her on the snow. We literally pulled back and like covered, because that one actually had more of a face, because it was one of the pieces of concept art, and we were like, we have to hide it more.
I hear you're not supposed to look at her face.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So we couldn't show her face directly without it being obscured a little bit.
Yeah.
Trevor.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Trevor, are you familiar with Donald A. Walheim's story, The Mimic?
Ooh, no, I'm not.
So it's the Guillermo del Toro film Mimic.
Oh, yeah, I know the del Toro film.
So this is the story that film is based on.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it diverges significantly, but essentially it's the same. It's about a guy who rents a room and basically transforms into something else.
Oh, shit.
Something
cool.
And his landlord catches it just as he's hatching from his cocoon and flies out the window. And
cool.
terrified by this monster that has been living in his apartment. But then as it flies away, all of these things that look like radio antennas and chimneys,
Oh, I love that.
they come to life and they try to catch it as it flies away.
Oh, that's incredible.
Because they're all pretending to be things that they're not.
I love that. I incorporate a lot of ideas like that in my creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm looking at. I've looked at your stuff and I'm listening to you talk, and it really reminds me of this. Some of the images of was it Siren Head?
Yeah, Siren Head specifically is designed so that he can stand in broad daylight at the side of the road, and you might mistake him for a telephone pole or a radio antenna or anything like that.
Yeah. So something that has decided or evolved to mimic the things that humans have built.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. You nailed it with a Siren Head, actually. Yeah.
And I've always thought, I live in Florida, we have alligators, and when we're driving down the highway, it's like, is that a tire on the side of the road, or is it an alligator pretending to be a tire?
Yeah.
That would that would be a great little evolutionary adaptation.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you remind me of this very old pre-pulp Donald A. Walham story.
I'm going to look that up. Thank you so much. That ending is incredible.
I was going to say, it's not just the listeners and viewers that, end up with a larger TBR book list. It's also the guests, they're like, right now, I got to write that. I got to read that.
It also reminds me a little bit of a story called The Thin People by Brian Lumley that was hugely influential to me, which is all about like this drunk at a bar telling this story to this guy who kind of thinks he's out of his mind about these thin people that are like this entire race of extremely thin, tall creatures that has evolved around humanity that like can bend in half to fit behind like stop signs and like are thin enough that they can stand perfectly still behind telephone poles. And I love that. It's really good. Yeah.
You just added to my TBR list. I just
Has anyone made that into a film? Let's do that. Might as well make it.
The best part is that he find out that if anyone finds out about the thin people, they track that person down and they fold them. So like they'll bloodlessly fold them in this arcane way, so they're just like little junkyard cubes and scraps. It's very good.
Horrifying.
What's it called?
It's called
The Thin People.
The Thin People by Brian Lumley. I'm like 99% sure.
Lumley wrote that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the only Lumley story I've ever even read, but I was in a collection somewhere.
That's
I love
one
it.
I haven't read.
Right. Brian Lumley. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, Trevor, with your art, you still captured. I mean, you can see if you're watching instead of listening later, you can see one of Trevor's creations behind me. You've captured the art of. You've captured that. Okay, I saw the monster, but I still don't know much. Still didn't really see the monster.
Oh, that's really important to me. Thank you. Yeah. I want to raise more questions than answers.
Well, it's like in the movie Signs, which I'm not arguing is a good movie, but I do enjoy.
It scared the hell out of me when I saw it, though. Oh my god! I saw it when I was a teenager or even a preteen, I think, and I can still remember every scare in that movie. It's so good.
Yeah, it is, and there's I don't like the ending. The rest of the movie I like, but there's several, like when he looks out the window and there's somebody, quote unquote, somebody standing on the top of the garage or whatever it was, the barn.
Yeah.
And
the birthday video,
right.
Oh my god, yeah.
Great.
And to me, what really highlights it is when Mel Gibson is running around the corn.
I was gonna bring it up. That's the scariest one in the whole movie. Oh my god.
Yeah. You just see a foot.
Just a foot.
In the dark.
Ooh.
And then it goes back. Scared the hell out of Trevor.
It could be a foot. You don't know
right
until it moves.
It's just a limb being withdrawn into the corn.
Yeah, exactly. Mel Gibson gets frightened when he sees it move. Right. And all you see is that. It's so simple. It's like in what's the old horror movie, Pete, with the ball bouncing down the stairs?
Changeling.
Yes. Yeah. And Jed and everybody did a great job of that in Host. If you
Oh,
think
yeah.
about it.
Oh, the scene with the phone held up in the trapped up in the attic, and you just see the legs briefly. Oh,
Right.
so good.
So Jed knows this too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I do think there is another magic trick you can play, which is tell someone that there's a monster in this movie, and the anticipation is what scares people. It's not the reveal is the relief. The reveal is the relief. What's scary is the anticipation. You know somewhere at some point this monster's going to be here, and that anticipation is far more scary than actually seeing it and getting a jump scare.
I think it was Hitchcock who said
Bomb.
something. Yeah, there's a bomb. You know all this. Yeah. Trevor, this is great,
Sorry.
man.
Yeah,
it's like he knows what I'm going to say. We're on the same page. Yeah, there's a bomb. When you say Trevor, something like there's a bomb underneath the table and it does not go off. That's suspense.
He did that in a movie called The Secret Agent.
Yeah, there's a bomb under the table and it does go off. That's what surprise. I think he said.
Yeah, something like that.
So okay, so let's look at like a film like In the Mouths of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Great, last good Carpenter, in my opinion.
Right.
Ooh, that's controversial.
When it's released, there's this scene where he's running from the old ones, which are slavering forth out of the. But you only catch these glimpses.
Yeah,
it's 30 seconds of basically
madness.
Still shots.
Yeah,
and hard to see anything or focus on anything.
Yep.
The problem that exists now is that we have everything on video and it's all digitized and I can freeze it.
Yep.
And we could destroy the illusion.
Honestly, all those monsters still look great though, because they went through Candy Effects, I think it is, and they built every single one of those monsters. You just see in the background blurry for like 30 seconds. They had names for every single one. I wish I could get some like definitive behind the scenes photos, but
production sketches.
Yeah, exactly. Any of that. They actually feel a lot like Bernie Wrightson designs. I wonder if he did it. I wonder if he worked on it. I gotta look that up. Just talking to myself here.
And more recently, The Ritual.
Yep.
Adam Novell's book, right?
It's hard ever to see the entire monster.
Yep. It's one of the best creature designs in years.
Yeah, brilliant. So good.
I'm hard pressed to think of a big reveal of a monster in a movie that wasn't better than if they'd just not shown it, and The Ritual is far better. You get that money shot of it, like the burning house, with just a silhouette of it, like holding somebody up. Oh,
right.
So
there's some great artists and great filmmakers that, they've got a monster and they painted it or they drew it or whatever, and you look at that and you're like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. But it's not evoking the same feeling as, oh my God, I just glimpsed this and I don't know what's going on and it's horrifying. And that's the feeling that you evoke, at least.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And honestly, it doesn't have to be monsters. I think one of the,
Fear of the unknown. Yeah.
Well, Rear Window, Hitchcock's Rear Window. You never see anything happen.
Oh yeah.
But that horrible things happened not only in the house, but throughout New York City, as the body was dismembered and taken out bit by bit.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
so,
Hitchcock is a master. He was the best. You can't beat him.
Did anyone see the recent movie, The Vast of Night?
Oh God!
I did. Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
I do
it came
too.
to mind because I think you mentioned, Jed, where it's just talking. It's just talking about and big.
When is exposition not boring? But it wasn't boring in that movie.
There are two big long sections in that film that are literally just they black the screen out just because it's just someone on a radio telling a story, and it is terrifying and does a better job of giving that like Spielbergian kind of awe than anything they could have possibly shown. It's just someone telling
Spielberg
a story,
right?
I love that movie so much. It's so good.
That opening pan scene.
Oh yeah,
shot.
Great.
Yeah.
You mean
Really
when they're going across, when the camera's going across town?
It goes right through town, right through the gym.
I've never seen anything like that. That was amazing.
and it really just centers the whole film. You're like where you're going to be spending time, so you know the layout of the whole area in one shot. I could talk about just the Vast Night for a long time.
Oh, me
Yeah.
too. In fact, I may be watching it after the show again because I like it
I
so
actually
much.
showed it to my
So
wife.
wait. Wasn't the original long shot A Touch of Evil?
Yes, we
You're
saw
right
someone
about that.
else.
Yeah, it was like an 8 or 9
Force-
minute uninterrupted shot.
Right.
And that
And
also
then
plays with the bomb that is in the backseat, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that's the opening
Bob,
scene.
yeah.
And then they did a similar scene, and there was a Tim Robbins movie in the 90s where he was a Hollywood producer,
Robert Altman.
and they were talking about that and commenting on it. And at the same time, they were doing a very long opening tracking shot.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the name of the movie.
I think it's called The Player or something like that.
Yeah, The Player. But those are the two that come to my mind when I think of very long opening shots, uninterrupted.
And we had a
Yeah.
James Bond movie that did that too.
Yeah. By the way, that is our other name
Spectre.
for Matt, iPhone 5. We like to call him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, The Vast of Night. So while we're talking about movies, I would love to hear from Trevor and Jed. What are the movies that you loved growing up as an adult? What have you watched recently that you really loved, like The Vast of Night, for example? And
Yeah.
what movies inspired you? For example, I read somewhere, Trevor, that you really were inspired by horror movies from the 70s and 80s. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say when I get asked this question, my dad was fundamental and is still fundamental to my everything, my interests, my art, my career. Because
great, man.
Yeah, he was a huge horror fan. He had all the 80s, 70s horror movies on VHS, and he showed me a lot of them at a really inadvisably young age. And I really appreciate.
But he knew
that.
what he was doing. Look where you are now. So.
He knew what he was doing. Yeah, we'd go. I don't know if you remember, but there was a company called Anchor Bay Entertainment. In the Yep. And they would release the nice remastered like Lucio Fulci films, Dario Argento films, and these like big clamshell cases. And we'd go out every Saturday to like the mall and pick out a new one and watch it. And that was where that's where I saw like all kinds of weird stuff. That's where I saw like New York Ripper, which is a nasty, nasty movie. Just tons of stuff like that. Yeah.
What about you, Jed?
It's Sam Raimi movies, really. Sam Raimi, everything he touches is gold for
Yeah.
me. Evil Dead 2, it's very basic, but Evil Dead 2 is just, for me, is like the movie I watched where I thought, oh, okay, like, so there are movies that are exactly designed for me that I could watch and make. So I always have that in mind. And like now I'm working with Sam on a movie. It's just like a dream. It's crazy just getting to talk to him and get him to explain how things work and punching up story elements and stuff. And yeah, it's like a dream. It really is.
So am I?
That movie is in Doctor Strange, is it?
Oh,
which one?
I was about to bring up
newest
Doctor
one.
Strange.
Oh, Doctor Strange 2 is his new one. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't suppose you can tell us probably what you're working on with Sam Raimi right now.
Yeah, it's a.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but
No, it's not going to get me in trouble. It's just a film that we actually had a year before Host that we started. We did the deal on it, so it wasn't because of Host. It was because of our short films. Why Sam wanted to work with us. So yeah, he got in there early, and he recognised like there's something there, and so we've been working on it for about 2 years. COVID obviously got in the way a little bit. One of the main reasons we did Host because like we were a bit frustrated that we couldn't get on with the Sam Raimi movie.
But working with Sam Raimi for you, it's got to be a dream come true. Your bucket list, like Trevor was saying.
Oh, 100, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bucket list.
Is
Massive
this the
bucket list.
Is this the movie that's set in a movie theater that you outlined for us last time you were on?
No. This one is mostly set in one location, but it's not a movie theater. This is set in this is set somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
I think I know the one you're talking about. I won't.
It sounds like
say.
there's only so much you can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's,
was on a. Yeah,
gonna
go
be
ahead.
good.
I'm sorry.
I'm excited by it.
I was on a call with press and other people when I'm blanking on the Evil Dead TV series.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Ash versus the Evil Dead. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So everybody was on this call with Bruce, right? And I finally got to ask my question. And I was like, did you, so were you into Lovecraft growing up? And he's like, no, I didn't give a damn about Lovecraft. That was Sam, So I just saw the trailer, the trailer 2 for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness
is that
today.
out? I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. I just happened on it. Man, this thing's
I
got
don't think I've
Lovecraft.
seen it either. I've purposely not watched it because
Yeah.
I want to be surprised. I mean, he mentioned a little bit about it, like every now and again on Zoom and things, but I've tried to keep out of
it. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, this thing's got Lovecraft written all over it. It's got you guys are
just the name of it as well. Just the name of it sounds Lovecraftian, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's based on a period in the 70s when Doctor Strange went Lovecraft via Robert E. Howard, technically.
Sounds great to me.
They had all the rights of Robert E. Howard, so they said we got all these mythos stories, so we don't know if we have the rights to Lovecraft or we have the rights to Howard's creation, so we can use Von Johnson.
So I saw the trailer today,
Nice.
Rick, and I'm like, holy cow, I got to look up some more stuff and do some Googling. So,
I'll definitely have to check this out. I didn't know it was out.
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Oh, I'm way more into DC than Marvel, as these guys will tell you. So I'm not an expert. So I had to do some Googling, and I guess then I came on this. Before all was, I was. Before time was, I waited. I fed on the screaming souls of the universe as I drank the spoiled milk of dead stars. I am the emptiness outside of all understanding. I am Shumagorath, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm watching this film.
They're doing Shumagorath, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It was a throwaway Robert E. Howard creation.
Nice.
Really?
He's mentioned in one story. The iron-bound volumes of Shumagorath that are mentioned in the King Cole story.
That's the beauty of Sam Raimi. He will bring all of his interests to the masses. He realizes that his niche interests can be seen by the entire world if he just puts it into a Marvel movie and have superheroes just fight each other. He can, through the back door, just
sneak
show
everything
his
in.
interest. Which is great.
It's funny you brought up Evil Dead 2 because I don't ever think to talk about it simply because it's the one movie I've seen so many times that it has become just like a blank spot.
Yeah.
In my memory, I've seen it more than any other movie. I watched it on repeat all through my, high school years. And so of course Evil Dead 2, but like I could probably go through that movie verbatim.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the Sam Raimi stuff. Obviously, Wes Craven, like Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Wes.
Big influence. Yeah, like
the more underrated Wes Craven and Tobe Hooper movies I've been watching recently.
Nice.
They're so good. People Under the Stairs is maybe like the best Wes Craven movie.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. No, besides Nightmare on Elm Street 1, I think.
Well, maybe
New Nightmare. Then
New
People
Nightmare,
Under the Stairs. Then People Under the Stairs.
I'm going to admit something terrible. I've never seen The People Under the Stairs, and I've
watched you need to rectify that.
A lot of people have not. A lot of people haven't seen it.
Really?
It really gets. I feel like it gets brushed aside, but it's incredibly good. It's just such a good movie, and it has Big Ed and Nadine, the actor and actress from Twin Peaks, as the villains.
Yeah, so good.
Well, so I went to visit my parents this weekend, and I walked into their house yesterday, and they're 70 and 80 years old, and on their TV, they have a DVD for Basket Case.
Hell yeah!
Wow, nice.
And I'm like, what?
Head and Lauder.
Why are you watching Basket Case? And she said, I heard about it. I wanted to watch it. I'm like,
was that one of your old DVDs?
it was not. Apparently,
Wow.
Apparently, they have gotten together in their HOA, their community, their condo, and they go out and buy movies that they want to watch, and then they just trade them around.
That's great.
I've
That's
got to
amazing.
retire there.
The
That
Basket
sounds
Case.
great.
Wow, that's a
Basket
sleazy
Case.
one.
Well, of course, this is the same father that read you Lovecraft
That's the
stories
one
when you were
I
4
read
years
them.
old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So, any other influences, guys, as far as movies go, that you?
I'm a
oh,
oh, go on.
sorry.
Oh, I
No,
was
no,
gonna
you
say,
go.
like,
You go.
No, you
I'm
go.
a big fan of Barbara Crampton as well.
Mhm.
So obviously all of her oeuvre, and she's now my co-host on my Clubhouse of Horror room I do every Thursdays on Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys have seen that app, but it's like an audio app, and I run this room every Thursday, and my co-host is Barbara Crampton, and we just talk about cool stuff. We talk about horror, and people come up on stage and speak to Barbara about her movies, and obviously the Lovecraftian elements always get talked
Nice.
about.
Yeah.
And she's it's her thing, it's her forte, movies about that particular subject, and she's continuing to do them as well. There's stuff she's gonna do that's in that world.
So,
Oh,
Jed,
nice. Yeah.
this is my entire tribute to Barbara Crampton.
Is it really? Oh, wow.
This is
Yeah. For those who are listening later, he's holding up a copy of Reanimatrix by
this
Pete
is
Robb.
the story of Megan Halsey.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Well,
And
that backstory.
As filtered through Lovecraft rather than filtered through the movies.
So anyway, I love the character that she brought together, brought to life.
Yeah.
And I just had to do something. I obviously couldn't use that exact character,
Yeah.
but the name is fair game. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, she's great. Like I've become like really good friends with Barbara now, and like she just randomly calls me, and I'm just like, oh my god, Barbara Crampton's calling me, and it's like, hey Barbara, and she's like, oh, I'm just driving to the mountains, and I'm like, cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I've
it
spoken
is.
to her briefly on social media, and she seems like the loveliest, nicest person. Yeah.
Genuinely one of the nicest people like I've ever met. And, like people don't realize the stuff that she does behind the scenes to help, especially other actors and actresses from like the 80s and 90s who have maybe not done much recently. She kind of tries her best because she's gone through a renaissance where now she's making 60 films a year or something, making so many films. Everyone loves her. She's on the front cover of Fangoria. She's everywhere, and she's trying to help other people like her contemporaries from the 80s and 90s do that too.
Oh, it's amazing.
She's great. She's really, really cool.
I saw that she's doing a voice in the new game Back for Blood that the trailer just came out for, which is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
You do this with her on Thursdays, Jed, and
Thursdays 4 p.m. Pacific on the Clubhouse app.
I gotta figure out
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
For instance, like a couple of weeks ago, in the room we had so it's basically it's like Comic-Con. There's a stage and there's an audience, and I invite people to the stage. So one week it was Barbara Crampton, Kane Hodder, Dee Wallace, E.T.'s mum. Who else was it? Ashley Lawrence.
Oh, nice.
Kirsty from Hellraiser. And there was about 10 other like horror luminaries on stage, and it's crazy. And this is every week I'm doing this. That particular week was crazy good, but it's Barbara every single week, and also Bonnie Aarons every week as well, who's the nun from the Conjuring movies.
Yeah.
She's there every week as well, and a whole bunch of like horror directors and all the guys who just did the most recent Creepshow and Shudder. They're always on the app. Fangoria are always in the rooms, and Blumhouse. So it's just a room where all these horror people can get to talk to each other and discuss like the latest news, or like just people can come up from the audience and ask them questions. It's just the best access ever to these horror stars that's ever been, I think.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Reanimator and From Beyond, obviously, but
From Beyond for me is better than Reanimator, but that's just my own personal opinion. Yeah.
But more recently, I saw We Are Still Here.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah,
and I thought
movie's fantastic.
Blew it out of the water in that film.
Yeah. She's so good. And also, have you seen Jacob's Wife, her new one?
Yeah.
Really good.
We Are Still Here is better, but
her performance, yeah, I agree with you. The film's better, but maybe her performance is better in Jacob's Wife, just because she goes through a roller coaster. And Larry Fessenden is amazing in everything as well. I'll like that.
He's
that
great.
guy I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking about influences, before we move off of that, I got to talk to you guys about Twin Peaks and Lake Mungo.
Oh my God! I just bought the Lake Mungo. They just released a big set of it on Blu-ray for the first time. I think.
Oh yeah, I know. Paul was flashing it all over Instagram.
Second Sight released it.
Second Sight,
Who based in the UK, they go all out. They're like, for Host, there was like the American version that was released of the DVD and Blu-ray, which was kind of basic, and then there's this UK version that, holy moly, like these nice like cards. They did the same for Lake Mungo as well. And I'm not saying that like me and Rob from Host are the reason why they released Lake Mungo, but we, in every single interview we ever had for about 6 months, we were like, everyone needs to watch Late Mungo, everyone needs to watch it ASAP. And then this release came out.
Can you switch now and start talking about Noroi so we can get a Noroi release, please? Finally.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's
Ghost
another
Watch
one I mentioned. Yeah.
Noroi and Ghost
All
Watch.
Of those ones.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know about the Lake Mungo thing because Paul Tremblay posted. He got it, and he posted pictures all over Instagram. I emailed him, like, "Where the hell did you get this from?" And he's like, "It's from the UK, but it'll play on any Blu-ray." So I'm like,
"Yeah,
okay.
I didn't pick up a few other ones like the Host one because I was like, oh shit, it won't play on my stuff over here." But I didn't know it was all region. So
is the Host one sold out? I'll get one for you, man. I'll send it. To you.
Shit, that'd be incredible. I think it's sold out.
If you buy the Lake Mungo one, Trevor, and it doesn't play, remember it's Tremblay's fault because he said it would.
I bought it. It does in fact play on my PlayStation 4. So right.
Okay,
I love how much shit Paul Tremblay gets. Like I did like I know Paul now, but like he had this love-hate relationship with the director Alejandro Briguez. And I did an interview with Alejandro, and he was just like that bloody Paul Tremblay. What did Paul
do? Poor Paul.
Nothing, but he likes just because Paul is so nice. He just likes inventing. Oh yeah, he is. Inventing or creating this kind of character of Paul Tremblay as this antagonist that just spoils everything.
Our friend John Langan says he's a really nice guy. He's basically David Bruce Banner. Just don't.
Oh my God, John Langan is such one of my favorite writers right now. So
he comes on here occasionally.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Oh my God. Next time, tell him I said I'm a huge fan.
I will. The Fisherman's great.
The Fisherman's amazing, but his story, Mother of Stone, is like one of the scarier stories I've ever read. It's amazing.
Wow, I need to read that.
Well,
have you guys read? Trevor, have you read Head Full of Ghosts?
I have. Quite a while ago.
Love that. Yeah,
really, really good. I read
Survivor Song.
Survivor Song, yes.
Yeah.
Love that recently.
My favorite book of Paul's so far is Disappearance at Devil's Rock, which is at least partially inspired by Lake Mungo. He said.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I need to check that out.
Yeah.
I know that
I've read that twice.
It ties into Survivor Song a little bit too, with some characters that show up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to push my own stuff, but Langan wrote I edited a book a few years ago called Autumn Cthulhu. So anyone who knows John knows that you're going to get his story last, and it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be a lot larger than what you asked for. So I get this from John. He's like, "You probably don't want to take this. This is like a novella, And I read it, and I was like, "No, I want to take it." And his story in that, called Anchor, is one of the best I'll say novellas I've ever read. It's just he's such a good writer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't read that one. I've read Fisherman is a new classic, I think. And
I got the blurb that.
Oh really? Oh wow, nice. Yeah. And his short story collection, The Wide Carnivorous Sky, is one of the best collections I've read, and has probably one of the best titles for a collection.
I made a promise myself never to say anything nice about John on this show, and I'm breaking it. No, he's a great writer, and he deserves a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Speaking of Paul and Lake Mungo, for anybody interested, Paul Tremblay, Nadia Bolkin, who's another writer, a horror writer, and
Love
weird
Nadia
fiction
Balkan
writer.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she's a
good.
great writer. She had a story in there too called "There Is a Bear in the Woods" in Autumn Cthulhu,
Oh,
and it was
That's a
just
good.
I was
That's a
blown
great
away.
name.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to read that immediately from that title. What's up with this bear?
Yeah, where is it now? It's okay. Right. Yeah.
And
so interesting.
anyway, the three of us are going to do. I do a Patreon podcast 2 Thursdays a month for the patrons, and we're gonna talk about Lake Mungo on the 24th of this month, June 24th.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, because all three of us just love that movie. I know you guys do too.
I'm excited to rewatch it now that I have the really fancy Blu-ray. I haven't seen it for a couple of years. It's like of those three big scary found footage horror movies, it's the one I've seen the least. Probably because it's quite a bit sad too.
It is.
Out
and
of
it's in this-
curiosity, Trevor, what are the other
Yeah.
big fan footage movies?
Oh, it's Ghostwatch is number one.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Ghostwatch.
I saw Ghostwatch University like on a Thursday with my roommate in broad daylight, and it scared the shit out of both of us. It's so scary. And Noroi the Curse is probably
okay.
one of the most ambitious found footage movies I've ever seen in terms of how it uses different snippets of like game shows and like news reports and paranormal shows, and stitches together this really kind of sprawling supernatural horror story, whereas most found footage horror movies kind of use the format to tell kind of like smaller closed off stories. This one uses just all this motley of different footage and things that's been put together to tell this really big ambitious story, and it's really scary, really good.
I
I've
love it.
seen this one. What's the name of this one again?
Noroi
called-
the Curse.
It's Noroi, The Curse. It was on Shudder for a long time.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
yeah,
if
we
it's still-
watched,
been after
like,
me to watch this. Yeah,
Yeah.
We watched it on movie night. It was
Okay.
really great.
now
Yeah.
I gotta watch it.
If
on
anybody's
my
seen
list.
that, if you've watched that one and enjoyed it, the same director has a movie called Occult. It's a little confusing because he has another movie called Cult. So it's a cult and cult. They're two very different films.
That's like somebody who would make a movie called Host and then a game.
Called Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Let's be fair. That's the English translation of the Korean words. They probably don't sound that similar in Korean.
That makes sense.
We're never
That's
fair
true.
here, Matt.
Occult is as good as Noroi. It's a deeply off-putting film, and I highly recommend you watch it. It's super scary.
To me, Noroi takes the comment that Lovecraft makes about uncorrelated contents
Oh yeah,
and makes something in very much the same vein as Call of Cthulhu. If you take
Totally. Yeah, you're right.
random things that should never be connected,
Yeah.
and then connect them, it will drive you insane.
like the Night Stalker episode of "They Have Been, They Are, They Shall Be"
Yes.
does the same thing. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, I love
Right.
stuff
Guys-
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you guys just about more influence? Are you guys aware of Nigel Neal?
I love Nigel Neal. I love Nigel Neal so much. I recommend his 2 episodes of his show Beasts
Beast.
to like as many people as I can. There's an
which
episode of Beasts
episodes? Yeah.
during Barty's Party. It's called During Barty's
Yeah.
Party.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
That is one of the single scariest like 30-40 minute episodes of television I've ever seen. It's on YouTube. You can
I
just
just
watch
wrote
it
this down.
whenever you want.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to check it. It's called Beasts by Nigel Neal. The 2 really, they're all good. Some are weirder or funnier or stranger than others, but the 2 scary ones are one called During Barty's Party, and then he has another one called Baby that is just terrifying.
Baby's great. But I also like What Big Eyes as well. What Big Eyes.
But
is
Big
great.
Eyes is really good. One of the episodes is about the ghost of a dolphin. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stone tapes.
Yeah. He did
What's that?
Stone Tape. He did Stone
Stone
Tape. Yeah.
Tapes.
Yeah.
Basically, he was big with TV movies on the BB and on
Yeah.
terrestrial TV, and he was the first one to bring like horror to primetime TV in the UK. And without him, like I don't know where we'd be.
Yeah. John Carpenter's best film is huge. Just tribute to Nigel Neal, Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I love that movie.
It's so good.
exactly. And with Ghost, I'm massively influenced by Beast, but also I don't know if you've seen it, Trevor, but the reason he got to do Beast is because he did this one-off TV special called Moraine,
Oh, yes. Is
Yeah.
it the one where the townspeople all think that somebody is a witch?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just watched that while I was drawing like last week. It's really good.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
subtle, but I've been speaking to Bonnie Aarons about it. I was like, Bonnie, like if this is ever remade, you need to be in this. Because
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
should be perfect. But yeah, just English folk horror. I'm just really interested in it, and because people often think of English folk horror as really subtle and small. I'm just like, there must be a way to make it reach a wide audience. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do by like mushing together a few different things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that people think about folk horror as like the trilogy of British films, like Blood and Satan's Claw, The Wicker Man, and Witchfinder General, and kind of just leave it at that with the tropes and the imagery that those three films have. But I really feel like it could be a lot broader in terms of what folk horror is.
Penda's Fen is just ridiculously good.
I could talk about Penda's Fen for the rest of this podcast.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
I just watched
my
Penda's
god,
Fen.
that imagery.
Oh my god, I watched Penda's Fen a week or two ago with some friends. We did like a Zoom thing of it.
Was that your first time watching it?
It was my first time watching it,
Nice.
and everybody should watch Penda's Fen. That is, it's incredible
How do you
stuff.
spell that? I've never even heard of it.
Penda, like panda, but with an E.
Right.
And then FEN.
Yeah.
Panda Fen, all one word.
That's my new two words.
Two words.
Penda's Fen.
Like it is his Fen. Penda's
Fen.
Oh,
possessive. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
More people should be talking about it. It's just great.
Yeah.
I just
for me, it's the new Lake Mungo in terms of the one that I'm trying to get everyone to watch all the time, and just the imagery. Holy moly! Just the rural English countryside. It was filmed in a place called Malvern, which is just like big rolling hills in the English countryside, and it's just all about these like it's really intangible kind of.
It's like
all the gods. It's very Lovecraftian.
It's incredibly Lovecraftian.
Really?
It's like it's kind of a coming of age of this young boy who
finding
is
his sexuality and
finding his sexuality torn between like the military industrial complex and like soldiers and finding his own way, and kind of besieged on all sides by visions of angels and demons and like the embodiments of the old English kings and like representatives of the countries. It's wild. It's some of the imagery that they accomplished on that budget is so striking. There's nothing else I've seen quite like it, and it deserves. That's what we need a big like Scream Factory, Shout Factory re-release of. I don't need to see, the same Nightmare on Elm Street movie re-released. I want to see Penda's Fen get a nice release. I want to see Ghost Watch. I want to see.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Everything you've mentioned, Penda's Fen, all of the Nigel Neal stuff, Ghost Watch, they're all TV movies. When we in the UK had the balls to actually give money to creative people to make these kind of cerebral horrors.
Ghost Watch was like 91 or so, wasn't it?
August
90.
Sorry, October 31st, 1992.
Okay, early 90s.
Yeah, 92. Cool. Because at the start of Host, the Zoom ID code is.
Yes, I was going to ask you about Easter egg and Host in a minute.
1992. The date that Ghost Watch came out.
I was going to ask you, Jed, have you seen the Tales from the Crypt episode Television Terror?
Ooh, no, remind me.
It's the scariest episode in my opinion. I forget who it stars, but it's very much a reference point for ghosts in my opinion.
Is this the new Tales?
It's the 90s one. The 90s HBO Tales from the Crypt. It's
it stars Morton Downey Jr. who was
Morton Downey Jr. and he's this shithead newscaster who's going to spend a night televised in a haunted house.
Oh my god! I should know about this. Nice.
Yeah, where a bunch of people committed suicide, and the landlady murdered all the old tenants for their money, and of course it goes very badly for him.
You know what this reminds me of, guys, and I think both of you probably find this interesting. On Tuesday nights, most Tuesday nights, I do for an hour. I do 2 episodes of Old Time Radio here on this YouTube channel.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah, well, if you're on the Lovecraftian YouTube channel, which you can just Google and find, the first list of videos is Lovecraftian podcast, and then below that I think is the Old Time Radio Horror, and that's something I started a couple of months ago. But my point is, I've been listening since I was a little kid, and and so obviously you can listen to old time radio for free, any episode you want, but I'm trying to handpick, from having listened for 40 years, handpick some of which I thought are the best. This particular one is called Ghost Hunt, Jed, and I think
I've listened to this one. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's the very first example of found footage horror. Just
what
audio.
Year did it come out? What year did it come out?
49, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it feels almost like a ancestor of that Tales from the Crypt episode. Actually, I see why you brought it up.
Yeah.
That one in particular. I've been going through. There's a Canadian radio series called Nightfall, I think.
Oh God, I love that show, Trevor.
It's
Someone
so good.
was talking about that to me recently, actually.
Yeah,
It's
a friend of
very
mine on social media, bless them, compiled them all and sent them to me as MP3s, and I've been going through them. And they kind of kick the shit out of every horror podcast, like narrative horror podcast.
Some Canadian stations, they got letters and and they removed. They didn't play it anymore.
Some of them are pretty rough for Canadian radio, but I highly recommend it.
I would recommend that you listen to The Porch Light.
The Porch Light's a great one. That's a really good episode.
I forgot. I played The Porch Light for the old time radio series I'm doing. I think it was 2 weeks ago. That was one of them. I was
going to say, you must have hit on one or two of them.
That is one scary fucking episode, man. Listen to that at night, and so anyway, I think that's the first example. You would know better than me, but I think that's the first example of found footage horror.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say, just real quick before we get off found footage, and again, you guys are the experts, but Lake Mungo, we've had this talk before with Rick and Pete and I have. Lake Mungo and Savage Land. To me, I don't think of them.
I was waiting to bring up Savage Lands.
To me, Trevor, they're not found footage. They're faux documentaries.
They're faux documentaries. You're correct. Yeah.
Which I really love that.
Yeah. Savage Land, Butterfly Kisses.
We were talking about that a few months ago. I watched that. That's a good
Butterfly Kisses is one of the big underseen, the secret found footage horror movies that are really, really good.
That's the one with the tunnel, right?
The tunnel, and if you with the camera pointing towards the end of the tunnel,
right.
Yeah.
Pete told me about that one, I think, and I watched
Savage Land, Butterfly Kisses. I really like the tunnel, the Australian one. Those three, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I see faux documentaries as a kind of a branch of found footage. I think found footage is the kind of umbrella, and then you get the different types of found footage. And I think faux documentary like Lake Mungo, it is under that, because how I kind of rationalize found footage is it's a film where the people within the film it themselves, and if it's a faux documentary, that's what they're doing. They're still filmmakers, like the Blair Witch Project. You may think that that's a faux documentary as well, but that's the archetypical found footage movie.
Savage Land is great because it's a found photo movie, which is you don't see that in film.
What is? Sorry,
Savage Land's a documentary based around a roll of film of photos that were found, and they're terrifying.
Yeah.
Have you seen Be My Cat, a film for Anne?
Yeah, I've seen Be My Cat. That was that's one of the more uncomfortable films I've seen in recent memory.
I have not heard of that one, Jed.
So
you explain it.
So it's about a guy who is obsessed with Anne Hathaway, and it's just him filming himself talking about Anne Hathaway, about how he really wants to make a film with Anne Hathaway. So he decides to find some girls online who look a little bit like Anne Hathaway, and essentially tortures them. And because he wants to send this footage to Anne to say, "Hey, this could be you, Anne. If only you would come to Eastern Europe where I am. This could be you." But also be my cat. He wants her to be his cat because she played Catwoman in the Batman movie, and it feels so real. And I it's by a guy called Adrian Toffey. I've been on a couple of podcasts with him, and he fascinates me so much because it feels almost like a snuff movie. That's what it feels like, and I'm just like,
it feels real. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how did you do? I'm so interested in.
He's
in
the
how he
writer,
did it.
director, and he's the star as well
Yeah.
for the whole thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that one is a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to
I'm
take in.
about to publish a large collection of stories by Michael Menace, who writes a lot of Lovecraftian stuff. He's really, really underrated, and he writes other horror as well. You guys should check out a short story called. You guys should check out a short movie.
Okay.
And it's in. I'm going to republish it, but right now, I'm losing money as I say this. But right now you can get it for $2.99 along with some other stories in a collection of his called Your Poisoned Dreams.
Okay.
Nice.
By Michael Menace. Yeah. And if you don't read any other story, I mean, you should, but if you only read one story in that collection, read Snuff Movie. And it's got some of the creepiest, scariest scenes in a short story I've ever read. And it's about this guy's friend who's sort of, he's kind of strange, and he keeps trying to find legitimate like sacrifices or snuff films, and he says it's all fake. I want to find something legit. And it's about his search, and the ending is just horrifying. After you guys read it, you guys got to email me and tell me what you think about
Okay.
that.
I read
Sure,
reminds me of the Jack Ketchum story I read that had sort of the similar starting point as that, where it was a guy trying to hunt down a snuff film. I don't think it ever works out for these people. Maybe they should not.
It was sort of a authorized sequel to Ramsey Campbell's Cold Print.
I love Ramsey Campbell so much.
Yeah, I've had him on the show once or twice, but he's like, well, we need to do this earlier, because he's in the UK. I'm like,
right.
So it's like, I don't want to ask Ramsey on at midnight.
Doesn't stop me.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop me.
Yeah, it's like,
Come on, Ramsey. Come on.
it is like midnight for you, right?
70s?
Yeah, I know he's in his 70s.
He needs his rest.
Come
on.
I have taken Ramsey
Ramsey.
shopping for video nasties twice.
Nice.
Amazing.
Which, and now, we couldn't even do that because video stores don't exist.
Yeah.
Ramsey likes old horror movies, if I remember right, doesn't he? Yeah.
We would go to both times. I think we hit at least 10 used video stores.
It's my dream.
Nice.
Just stock up on the weirdest DVDs and stuff that I had never heard of.
I'm desperate for to see the new movie Censor, which deals with the video nasties. Have you guys heard of this horror movie coming out?
Prana Betty Bond, British filmmaker.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
I really want to see it, but it's one of those things where it's like only going to theaters right now, and I will not be going to theaters until I get my second vaccine.
That just drives me up the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just it makes me want to see it really badly, and I wish I could.
Well, before we move on, I also want to talk about Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
I think you're both obsessed with Jed with Twin Peaks, but I think it was Jed. I think it was really obsessed.
It's the best TV show ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember? Well,
where do you stand on the new series? Oh, sorry.
I love it. I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did, really?
Yeah.
We will agree to disagree on that.
Okay.
But that first season, man. Well, first of all, Lake Mungo, they had Twin Peaks in mind. Alice Had Secrets, last name Palmer, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, you remember in Twin Peaks, like the third or fourth episode, guys, where Bobby and Mike are meeting he's the trucker guy, really a jerk, and they're meeting him in the woods, for some drug deal or something, if memory serves.
Yeah.
I love the way that it's not like a lot of movies in the woods. It's like, oh wow, there's a lot of light coming down. We can see perfectly. No, in the woods at night, you can't see your hand in front of your face usually. Yeah. And that's the way they play it in that scene.
Love that.
Yeah. And there's this one scene where they see this guy about 20 feet away, and then he quickly goes behind a tree, and you never see him again.
Never in the show again.
Yeah, Bobby's like, "Who's that?" And the trucker guy's like, "Don't worry about it." And he's never alluded to again in the entire series. But that's something that I love about it. Here's something really, really weird, and they don't explain it.
Yep.
Love it.
It's very good.
Because you know why? It's because at some point David Lynch, if he wanted to, could bring that character back.
Right.
And then he would flash back to that moment where he hid behind the tree, and then you would know, oh wow, that's the guy, and he's in a new series. I think it's genius. But the thing about like making it more authentically dark is something that I find really interesting in a lot of Hollywood movies. I find they go for the aesthetic rather than the reality, especially in horror movies. If you watch, I love James Wan. I love all the Conjuring movies. But if you've watched the most recent Conjuring movie, there's some bits that they're meant to be in complete darkness, yet you can just see them as like it was daylight.
Right.
And so, and you'll see in Ghost, like my DOP, like I'm probably driving up the wall, but I'm just like, he's like, okay, this natural light needs to be here, the moonlight needs to come through there, and I'm just like, no, because that's not real. It'll look cool, but like it needs to feel real. It needs to feel like this is more authentic than you would normally see, especially in a video game, which is real.
Are you talking about the scene? I won't spoil it, but the scene outside with the pool, near the pool towards the end.
Oh no, this is in Ghost, in the video game. I mean.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Host. Yeah. No.
Oh no. In Host, yeah. That was all mostly natural, like because they didn't have lights. They all filmed it in their own houses. So.
Oh right, of course, yeah. Yeah. I could picture that being like, I could picture him saying like, oh, if the moonlight was coming down here at this point, it would look really cool. But like, I remember that scene in particular being in pitch dark, and it was really effective.
It's pretty dark, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, I just think that kind of thing, and like, is the opposite of what a found footage movie should be. A found footage movie should be found, not contrived. So as soon as you start seeing like lights and everything's too perfect, it's perfectly blocked, then
yeah, I agree.
You lose something for sure. Yeah.
Hey, how did you? There's a story I want you to tell the audience, Jed, about going to Sundance, and you were sick, and you guys got off at the wrong stop. You and Rob Savage, and it was like 15 below or something. So
we had a short film called Dawn of the Death, which is a 30-minute short film starring Haley Redina and Caroline from Host, and also Ghosts, and it was just mega popular. And again, we made that film for £5,000, literally £5,000, and it played 200 film festivals, won a shit ton of awards, got us to Sundance, like blew everyone away at Sundance. And we were on a high, but like I genuinely didn't realize, because I don't count myself as part of the film industry, but I know I am, but like I don't think about it ever. I didn't know Sundance was in the mountains. I didn't know it was cold there. I just thought it's America, it's hot. That's it. I had no idea. So I turn up in jeans and a t-shirt, like straight off the plane at Salt Lake City, getting in. I'm like, oh, it's a little bit chilly. Maybe I'll wear a coat. Get in the Uber and say, oh yeah, just drive me to Park City. Not knowing it, again, I didn't do any research, and I was like, oh, my film is going to start in like an hour. Can you get there in an hour? And like just, and it was as it was driving through the mountains. I'm like, the temperature's dropping really fast. A little bit. Is this normal? And he's like, yeah. And it's literally minus 15 degrees by the time I got out, and the snow was up to my waist. And I was like, what is going on? So I got into the cinema and into the foyer, and all the cast and the crew were there. I was like, did you guys know it was cold here? And they're like, yeah, we've been sending you messages saying like, bring layers. I never knew. So I was slowly getting sick. And also that night we went to this burlesque bar, and I ate oysters off from a burlesque bar, which is probably the worst thing you possibly do. Anyway, I was really sick. And we went to watch this terrible midnight movie, this horror film that everyone, I'm not going to say the name of it, but everyone was going on about this horror movie. I went to see it, and I was like, "This is probably the worst horror movie I've ever seen in my entire life."
You have to tell me what that is later.
I will, yeah. And I was getting really, really sick, and I was like hallucinating. And then the filmmaker came out and did a Q&A, and I was like everything, this is just hurting me. So I was distracted anyway. And then about 3 a.m, we got onto the shuttle buses because the whole festival runs on shuttle buses. We got on, and I was talking to him, and I was sick, and I wasn't really looking where we were going, nor was Rob. And we just assumed this was our stop because it felt the right amount of time. We got off, we realized we were in the middle of the mountain, and there was no sign of when the next bus would be there. So we were just like, oh, let's just walk it. We can't be that far. So we just walked into the mountains for about 90 minutes into the mountains. And we were like, okay, this is really bad. Like, there's no civilization anywhere. They should have warned us. Like, and I was like, again, we were both like barely any layers on, and I was like, okay, this is really bad. And I was like, if we just head to, I know there's like ski and stuff on this mountain somewhere. If we just keep walking, we'll find a ski resort or something.
Oh boy.
So we kept on walking, and just to keep me alive, because I was fading really fast. I was like, Rob, like, I need to stop. I feel really sick. And he was like, no, let's think of the next movie. Let's think of the next movie. So he was like, what kind of movie should we do next? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And we've always kind of wanted to do a siege movie. And I was like, oh, how about a siege movie in a salt circle? And we basically planned salt, like in that kind of half an hour before we found a building, basically this abandoned building that had a phone. So we survived. I was really sick, and genuinely I was like, I couldn't even remember what happened the next couple of days. I was so ill.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but then when we got home, like, Rob had already kind of spoken to a bunch of people. It was actually to Fox, and they were like, can you make us a film for the advert break for American Horror Story for Halloween? And we were like, yeah, okay, cool. So they gave us a little bit of money, and we made Salt, which was the short film that kind of unlocked Hollywood for us, because it was, you can kind of see the progression from our short films to Host, just the collaboration that me and him have, like how it's progressed.
Salt is on YouTube, right?
I think it's on YouTube, but it's on Vimeo. It's on
Vimeo or YouTube,
Short of the Week.
Yeah,
it's on a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Dawn of the Deaf was another short film.
Yeah,
that you've done.
That's the one we took to Sundance. Yeah.
All right, so I don't want to alarm you, Jed, but you could have frozen to death. Have you read or seen any televised versions of An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge?
Yeah.
In the Twilight Zone one.
If that could be what happened, you might still be laying there.
Oh my god! I'm suddenly going to flash back to me being like 3 years ago.
Just the end of The Shining, covered in frost.
Oh,
People
exactly.
like me. I cheer them up with little thoughts like that. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the wolves
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
and bears.
Yeah. There's any number of things that could have befallen you there.
And
I know.
let's be clear.
Freezing to death is probably the easiest way to go there.
The worst predator there is the Americans.
American filmmakers as well. Yeah, they're the biggest predators. American producers.
Well, we're all angry because it's always hot here.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually hot where I'm at right now in Texas. It's like 95 degrees, and I can't stand it. I'm from Iowa, and it snows a lot there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. As you're in Texas, you're probably a fan of Joe Lansdale, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Love Joe Lansdale.
Yeah. He like the I've actually
Joe
right
wrote one of my favorite.
This one.
Drive-In. Yeah.
Drive-In. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote one of my. We were actually gonna have his daughter on the show, Pete, in a few weeks. Yeah.
The filmmaker herself.
Yeah.
And a country music singer and a writer and.
Oh yeah, she does a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's very, very nice. One of my favorite Lovecraftian short stories is by Joe Lansdale, and it's in a Batman book that was released right after the Batman '89 movie, a collection of Batman stories. And I don't know if you know about his God of the Razor
Yeah. Yeah. That's very good.
The story is called Subway Jack and features Batman basically against the God of the Razor.
Oh wow, I gotta read that.
It's a really good short
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
I love everything he writes. Like him and Paul Tremblay, Brian Keane, those guys. Love all that stuff.
Yeah. The latest season of that Netflix show, Sex, Death, or Love, Death, and Robots. I don't know if you know that show. They do an adaptation of a Lansdale story, and it's the best. Obviously, the best.
Do
episode.
they? Oh, I never knew that. Okay, right. I'll check it out.
It's really good. They also adapted him in the first season too. It seems like they're going to do 1 or 2 each season of his stories. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. I'm like one of the many projects I'm involved with is a Joe Lansdale adaptation, but maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But
nice.
It's something I'm working on.
Casey's got an article somewhere on Facebook, and she says her dad is Batman. It's a sweet article.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, talk to me, Jed, about I know especially Pete and Rick love this stuff. Easter eggs in Host. Now you've already talked about one, the Ghost Watch one.
The mask is another one, right? For Alice, Sweet Alice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The filter mask that kind of turns to Emma is from Alice, Sweet Alice, which appeared on Shudder the same day that Hosted, which is purely coincidental. Very weird that it happened like that. It's so weird. I mean, there's a lot of Easter eggs that haven't been found yet. I think there's about 60% of them found, but these are Easter eggs are just little nods at films.
Well,
there
must be a lot of them because I'm looking at an article right now that just says 10 Host Easter eggs that you might have missed. So like,
did I write
there
that?
Must be a lot more.
Yeah, like I think I
you
wrote
wrote
that
for
Shudder, right?
Yep, you did.
So so there's 10 there, but there are loads because we didn't realize that this film would be seen by anyone. So we were just like, this is cool for us. We're just going to stick in a whole load of things.
The best way to do it.
Yeah, little nods to like things we love, little hints at what's going to happen later on in the film, maybe hints at other films we're doing as well. Exactly, but you'll see in Ghosts, because Host is 56 minutes. In Ghosts, we have hours. Can you imagine the Easter eggs I'm putting into this? Is ridiculous. Honestly, like, and because I was at the main location on Friday, and I was driving people nuts. I was like, okay, this has to go here. I know it's not going to be in shot, but maybe it'll be in shot for a millisecond. We need just put that there, put that there. Let's do this, and I can't wait. I can't wait. There's one Easter egg that is going to blow people's minds like just apart because it's so cool, and it'll give a whole new spin on what this game is and what it's about as well when they see it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, you can tell us. No,
I can't. But yeah, it's
okay.
really
I'm looking
cool.
at your page just to not get you in trouble. Number 5, Sam Raimi is our favorite director. So when you say Gemma and Haley playing eye tennis with each other, I must have missed this. It's a nod to Evil Dead, specifically the scenes between Ash and his girlfriend before and after she turns. And then number 7, I loved with the Lake Mungo. Caroline's looping background video is a reference to the underrated, found footage movie Lake Mungo. So
I'm reading that same list now, actually.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think I probably wrote that when Host came out, so I can't even remember what I wrote or what's there. But there are loads. There are loads and loads and loads and loads in there.
Well, I mean, we've talked before. I think we did a Zoom call like this one, like a day or two after Host came out. I think, if memory
it was
serves.
early. Yeah, it was early doors. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really surreal for me because I was like, okay, I saw Host like 2 nights ago. Now I'm going on with Jed and like 75% at least of the girls that were in Host.
Oh, did all the girls come on as well? Nice.
Yeah. You don't remember that?
Because usually, like, I drag like one person on, but like that was cool that you got more than one. He was missing.
Yeah.
He was missing.
I don't remember. I have to go back and look.
Haley and
A
Emma
couple were missing.
always come on podcasts for me. Probably Gemma missing, I'm guessing. Yeah, it would have been Gemma. Gemma wouldn't be there.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever met Gemma.
Yeah, she's
But Emma, yes.
very busy.
Emma's
always she's always up for coming on podcasts and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so but it was kind of surreal, and I talked to the sorry, I'm blanking on the lady who does the what?
Who played the medium?
The medium,
Oh,
yeah.
Salem. Oh,
Salem.
yes.
Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had her on a few months ago. She was
She's
so nice. She's
lovely. Yeah, she's lovely.
At the time I had this really long COVID hair, right? And she's like, I will only come on if you don't get a haircut, because I was talking about getting a haircut.
Nice.
And
yeah, she's lovely. She's great.
then finally my wife had enough of my hair and I got a haircut. And I said, Salem, we used to come on, I got my haircut. She's like, that's okay. My boyfriend's got long hair, so I'm good with it.
Yeah. Oh, she is great.
Yeah.
She plays Doctor Who's mum in Doctor Who, like people don't realize that.
Yeah, we discussed
that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. She said something that really stuck with me. And I'm paraphrasing, but I've quoted her over and over. I need to go back and look at the video to get her exact wordage, but I just thought it was very wise. She said, in order to follow your dreams, you have to be willing to be poor. And it doesn't mean that you'll always be poor. Maybe you won't be, but that's got to be secondary to you. You have to be willing to be.
Yeah.
So, your dreams have to be more important to you than money, I guess is another way of looking at it.
Always. If
And
you have some money,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out. You're not going to be able to follow.
Right.
Yeah.
And, if you're doing what you love and somebody hands you gobs of money, that's even better.
That's a bonus. That's nice.
Yeah, that's gravy, right? We all like money, but I don't want to get on my deathbed and go, oh, I made a lot of money.
But what if your deathbed was made of gold? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of uncomfortable if it was made of gold.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
All right, so you can't talk about the long lady very much, can you?
No, not really. No.
I'm waiting desperately for the reveal whenever that happens, but no, not yet.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about your most popular guy, at least right now, that kind of got you noticed, Trevor? Siren Head.
Yeah.
Anybody out there who's watching or listening doesn't know about Siren Head and your other creations, maybe you could talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. Well, Siren Head, I made that at a time when I was working retail, and the photo thing, a little part of where that came from was that it was really good lighting and color practice. And it was also something I could pick up and do when I came home from working and I didn't necessarily want to paint an entire piece to post online. It was something I could do quick and also just let me stretch like design muscles and just these very specific artistic muscles of like, how much can I match this monster to the photo? And like, how real can I make it? So I was doing a lot of those. I was doing like 3 or 4 a day and just kind of spitballing. And that particular image where Siren Head was first drawn, I've always been really obsessed with number stations.
I love that.
Yeah. And if people listening don't know what number stations are, they're these free floating to this day transmissions that no one really knows where they come from and what they are. And it's just really jarring and strange, like sequences of numbers being repeated and random jargon and like jingles and like it's just really weird and off-putting, really good horror material. I was like, oh, what if that was an ambulatory creature? What would that look like? So I painted. Wow,
that's how Siren Head started.
Yeah, I was like,
I
wanted to be like, where are these stations coming from? And what if it's this actual thing, like a creature that's in the world?
Yeah.
So like a big part of the early Siren Head lore is that he's just spouting out these random kind of off-putting combinations of words and numbers, and nobody really knows the meaning of it. And then I kind of moved on and did like, I just did other monsters. And I started to try and draw connections when you have a bunch of different monsters you're creating, you can reference them and bring it back and be like, oh, where's Siren Head now? And you kind of keep tabs on them. And not a lot happened with the character until like 2 years later, in April of last year, I guess, when a game that a friend of mine had made, that was just kind of like a little demo with the character because he liked Siren Head, caught on, and it got played on YouTube by a bunch of really big name game people who play video games, have a huge audience, Markiplier, and a few other people. And then suddenly it kind of blew up and it was really weird. And it kind of became ingrained as this weird internet thing. And really they took it into their own.
So that friend who made the demo video game, I imagine, and if he wants a beer, you're always like, I'll get that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. He runs a game company called Modus Interactive. And we just worked together again on a little demo game that featured another monster of mine, the man with the upside down face. It was just really awesome that he made that. And then that was part of what made the character catch on. That, and also on a app I don't use at all, TikTok, someone saw Markiplier play that game and then made this video of a giant Siren Head like the size of Godzilla on like over a city, just like this really short looping video. And that caught on like crazy on TikTok, which I have no reference point for. I don't know how it catches on, but that happened. That kind of is why Siren Head became really big in a bunch of different ways. Someone even
created a short film called Finding Siren Head.
There's a bunch of short films. There is a Russian film that somebody made in Russia that actually was submitted to film fests. There are, stuffed toys popping up in malls across rural America, and I have no doing or saying that in any way, shape, or form.
Masks. There's masks in Mexico.
The Mexican mask, yeah. Which I really wish they just asked me and maybe just cut me a little check, because it's an awesome mask and I really want one. But like they just fully didn't even ask me at all. That company, who I don't even recall right now, is really notorious for taking internet creatures like
money aside, it has to feel really good. I mean, you've essentially created your own mythos.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm kind of terrified to expand on it because you never want to say too much, right?
No, you don't. But saying a little bit is great. Like I looked this up. Trevor Henderson mythos. They actually call it that, which again, well deserved.
Thanks.
It says that you stated, and these are broken links, but it says that you stated that there are 3 universes in your mythos.
I did mention that in an interview once, yes.
Okay. One focusing, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. One is on the giant creatures that I have done in some photos, usually in like the mist, like moving through mist and stuff.
Right.
Where the whole conceit with those pictures is supposed to be that it's a world where these giant, like kind of like cosmic horror monsters are commonplace. So everyone's just kind of like going on with their day around them. So that's why there's a lot of photos with them. And then the most of them, which are like the actual monsters like Siren Head and stuff, are a world where those are like those kinds of creatures are more like mythos. They're not confirmed by anybody. Nobody knows. And these are like found footage type stuff that's showing up.
Right.
I'm not sure what the
encountered. Is it real? Is it not real? That type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what the third one that I mentioned would refer to, but
you actually said, if this is accurate,
I did. Okay.
You actually said the third universe was never explained. So.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Make something.
That's because that's because I didn't remember or didn't know what I was going to say.
No. You're supposed to say, I know what it is, but I can't tell you right now.
I know what it is, but I can't tell you yet. And the newest monster I've done, I actually really want to expand. It's maybe the one I want to expand the most into more of an actual story. And I was thinking about writing some stuff for it. It's a creature called, there's a lot of them. It's called the Sister of the Ever Sharpening Blade.
I love this
kind of, oh, thank you. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
this quasi-religious sect, kind of like, it's like my version of the Cenobites from Hellraiser is the reference point, that are like these women in kind of black mourning dresses with this veil covering their head. but their neck is extremely strange, and they have points, like they have blades underneath the veil, like kind of propping it up. I really want to.
What is it called again?
They're called they're either the Sisters of the Ever Sharpening Blade, or the Sisters of the Cuts. That's how I've been referring to them.
I posted, if anybody's, for those who are watching, I figured for reference, in a few days to a week, I'll take the audio from this and I put it on iTunes and Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's a regular audio podcast that people can listen to on the go. So that said, but if you're watching live or later, for reference, there's a page that has, I don't know if it's a complete list, but there's a lot of them on there of your monsters. So,
yeah, there's a whole lot of lore that is just expanded upon by fans, which is very, I'm honored, honestly, that I've made stuff that people resonate with enough to want to see more of.
Today though, that's a really good thing, because people, they feel more involved, then they feel more interested, and it's just, it feeds on itself.
Absolutely, yeah. It's gotten to the point where some of the more popular ones, like Siren Head and Cartoon Cat, have entire lore and mythos and whatnot that I have it's completely a separate thing from me, and I mean that's really cool. It's wild that it can be, kind of gobbled up by the internet, and like they run with it in this way.
30 years ago, I know you've published some books. 30 years ago, you might have published some books, and gotten a cult-like following. Maybe people were like, "This is really good. You need to look at this." But today, you can do so much more because of the internet.
Yeah, you can play around with the whole,
catches
like
on
you mentioned,
faster.
like alternate reality games, techniques, and what you can hint at just through posts, and like a combination of image and text on like Twitter is really cool.
Yeah. Any of your monsters that you want to draw attention to, or is there, for both of you, is there anything that maybe I should have asked that I didn't get to, or that you want to talk about?
No, not me. No.
Well, I will say that this, I mean, I'm not going to say too much about it, but they're saying the last time me and Trevor are going to work together, we're going to work together on some more stuff.
Yep, we've been
some
talking.
really cool, exciting stuff. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I can't wait till we can talk about some stuff.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Me too. You guys will have to come back. I didn't realize this. Jed posted this on Twitter. This is the very first interview with Jed and Trevor at the same time. At the same
time. Yeah.
It's great.
It's not going to be the last, I'm sure. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to get.
Not.
Yeah. I'll have to have you guys back when you can talk more about this stuff.
When Ghost comes out, like Trevor, you need to like clear out a lot of your time, because we're going to be talking about the long lady for years.
Yeah, for sure. I have a bunch of stuff. I've got like 6 to 8 different balls in the air that I would love to talk about, and I can't right now. It kind of sucks, but I hope that I can soon.
That's what we call a good problem to have, Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you say it was February 22nd, guys? Of 20
Ghost, 22nd of February 22 is when Ghost comes out. There's actually going to be some stuff between now and when the game comes out. There's going to be some non-game stuff coming out, which I can't talk about around the game. There's lots of stuff like that. Some more cast announcements as well.
I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah. It's people are gonna go nuts.
That date's a palindrome.
What's that, sorry?
2202-2022 is
22 to 22. Yeah. It's a palindrome.
Is that intentional? What are you up to?
Everything is done for a reason.
Everything is connected. What's this about? If you try to log onto the game before 10 p.m., then you get some sort of, it said it was a test card. What is this?
It's like it'll be like a channel. It's not an operational signal, right?
Yeah.
But I thought there was something like you could solve to get.
Well, like a normal test card is for the channel to test colors and things like that. And the vertical and the horizontal. But
Oh, I
always
see.
think,
Okay.
why? But it's called a test card. Why not actually make it a test? So that, but again, I don't want to spoil it. Just get the game and log on, and you'll see.
All right. That's
Yeah.
one more thing to look forward to.
Yeah, this game is going to really mess with people's heads, and yeah, it'll be a communal thing because everyone will be playing at the same time, so everyone will be discovering different things at once, and you'll be able to share your knowledge with each other and try and make it to the end.
I'm just excited. It's an FMV game that's good.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. And the great thing is because we've already built the architecture for all of the film theaters are going to sit on. It's very easy for us to make more full motion video games, like very easy.
Yes.
So
everybody out there listening, buy this game if you want to see more.
yeah. I mean, it's already sold like thousands because
that's good.
The Kickstarter did well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you guys did really well with the Kickstarter. That's great.
Yeah. Game development is not cheap. I'll tell you that. It is not cheap.
Yeah.
That's a really good indicator of how the gaming public feels about this. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's exciting, yeah.
yeah.
And I have already signed on to the next game as well that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I can't talk that much. But yeah, and as soon as you're kind of in the press about the game, and Ghost has got so much press for someone who's never made a game before, it's crazy the amount of press this has got. And then you just get approached for more and more games. So the more conventional games companies have approached me to work on their games, and I'm just like, whoa, let me release one game first. Then we'll have that conversation. Like I don't want all that pressure.
It's not a good problem to have.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
You've been involved with films, like obviously like Host and short films and so forth. Do you want to concentrate, say, more on games than films, or 50-50, or what are your thoughts?
I've got 3 Blumhouse movies coming out. I've got to split my time. I've got 3 Blumhouse movies, a Studio Canal movie, a movie with Sam Raimi, multiple other movies that haven't been announced yet, but I'm sure
you must just laugh yourself to bed every night. Oh my god,
it's crazy.
Wow.
I am living
So the answer
dream.
is a resounding both.
Yeah.
Games and films. Well, I see that February 22nd is a Tuesday, so maybe I'll email
Tuesday.
you.
It's a Tuesday.
I'll email you in a few days, and maybe I can just snag you and go ahead and get you on a Sunday before or after.
Okay.
The 22nd. I don't know, when can you talk more about it? The Sunday following?
Yeah, I guess people would.
For all of you, we'll have to do a big spoiler alert. Don't watch it unless you've played Ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Trevor, what we should do is we should go on Twitch and play it ourselves. Actually, no, because I guess I'll know how to do everything, but maybe I'll be on Twitch with you and you can go through it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I can figure out how to set up Twitch.
No pressure.
By then.
Yeah.
I'm already stressed about it. I don't know. We'll have to see closer. We'll have to see closer to it. I don't know if I need an actual audience of people.
But yeah, no, it's I'm just so excited about the future, and like I say, like me and Trevor are going to work together in the future as well, and yeah, and I think it's a good combo, and I think when you find someone who has similar sensibilities, it's kind of really cool to like keep working with them. So
absolutely, yeah. I know, I'm excited about a lot of things that again I cannot talk about.
Yeah, and I know some of Trevor's secrets as well in terms of projects he's got going, and holy moly, like the world isn't ready.
Well, you made a great choice, Jed, because there are so many talented artists out there. There really are, doing different things. Oh my
god!
And so many talented horror artists.
Yeah.
But Trevor's
basically only one choice. That's Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor's got this whole mythos going, and so yeah, I can see why you wanted to go with him and nobody else.
Thank you.
Not to talk about your life.
Yeah, there wasn't another choice. No,
it's nice. Thank
true.
you.
Like, there was only one choice. Yeah.
Okay, so anything else you guys want to cover?
And yeah,
before
hopefully we can announce some of the other stuff soon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
No, I'm good.
Well, let me talk about a couple of other things before we go. House from Hell, a horror anthology, is available. It's on Amazon and other places. These guys paid me actual money that I can spend on food to talk about this, but I wouldn't do that if I didn't think it was really cool. So, money keeps the Lovecraftian projects going. So check these guys out. They're invested in me. So hopefully you'll invest in them and buy their book. It's, hell, it's $3.99 on Kindle, so it's not too big of a risk. It's called House from Hell, a horror anthology. Couple of stories. Spacefaring researchers disturb an ancient horror. An enchanted object curses a grieving widow. A haunted reel torments a film subject. A murder trial hinges on a chilling testimony. So yeah.
Sounds good.
A couple others I'd like to mention that I'm actually not getting paid to mention, but I think are cool. There is a book out recently. It's called Twisted Tainted Tales. So it's like Twisted : Tainted Tales.
Beautiful cover.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, it's like Fright Night. Did you think Fright Night when you saw that cover?
It's Fright Night. Yeah. Which, if you're gonna, try and evoke a poster, that's one of the best of all time.
Yeah. It's
great. Janine Pipe.
Janine Pipe. It is.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know her.
Just on Twitter. Yeah, and I think she interviewed me once, potentially.
Oh, did she?
I can't remember. Yeah.
Well, she had me at. Well, first of all, that cover is like pure '80s horror, right? Mm-hmm. And then.
Oh, she interviewed me with Steve, with the creator of Ghostwatch. We were in the same interview.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I'd love to get him on sometime. But I'm reading the description of this book, and I just got it last night, but I'm like, okay, I think I can recommend this. This looks great. And she had me at 80s mixtape, because the description is an abandoned house, a locked desk drawer full of old papers, in an 80s mixtape. Jill is tasked with seeking out any legal documents from the property. What she discovers transports her into a world of nightmares, ranging from the macabre to the downright chilling. This is actually on Kindle Unlimited if you're a Kindle person.
That sounds great. I gotta get that.
And again, it's called Twisted Tainted Tales by Janine Pipe.
She actually sent it to me. I haven't read it yet, but I've got no excuse because I've actually got it. No excuse.
No, you don't. One other book I want to mention, and now I'm going by memory, not by notes. Twisted. I'm gonna have to look at I was talking to Laird Barron about this book recently. Okay, here it is. It's called Strange Little Horrors and Other Stories by Amy Cross. I don't know her, but I didn't, as an editor, I want people to read any anthologies or anything like that in order. And so I absolutely did not do that with this book. The stories in order. I started with a story called Sitcom in this book. And this story is so insanely good, especially the ending. I can't really even talk about what this story is about without ruining it. But I'll just say, if you're a fan of Philip K. Dick, you'll like this story. And she does something with the ending, again, that I can't talk about without spoilers, but she does something with the ending that other stories like this have never had the gumption to do. And she does.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Does she kill a dog?
Yeah. Again, the name of the collection is Strange Little Horrors and Other Stories.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, the name of that particular story is called Sitcom. And actually, this one's on Kindle Unlimited too, or 99 cents to buy. So, not too much risk there.
I love EPUBs for that reason. I can just pile them on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm reading Goblin by Josh Mallerman right now.
I'm listening to it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm on the final novella. It's a book of 6 novellas that tell one story of like this town. And it's extremely good. It evokes the early Romero King like creep show energy than mostly like any
In
other
a small town
book.
that's weird.
The small
where it
town,
always
yeah.
rains. It always rains in
Yeah,
this town.
it's extremely good. I would highly recommend it. Yeah.
Well, I haven't got as far as you, but I've listened to the first story about the driver.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the story about the guy with his childhood friend.
A Man Who Slices. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. The one after that is my least favorite, but they just get better and better as it goes.
Okay, I'll remember that. Yeah, but I'm in the middle of that one too.
Nice.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's all I got.
So Mike,
Cool.
Yes.
so I traveled over to the West Coast, so I had like 4 hours in the car. So you sent me this book.
You're in Florida. You travel from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's not like California to New York or anything.
4 hours. So anyway, you sent me this book to read.
Which one?
Josh Schlossberg's Melina.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've started that. Ouch.
And I was pleasantly surprised. You know, first of all, the hero is 84 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and his wife is suffering Alzheimer's dementia. But she's also going through something else that is slowly revealed to be something very Lovecraftian.
Spell
And-
that book title, Pete. For
Melinae, Melina.
Okay.
And it is available on Amazon in both hardcover, softcover, and I think Kindle.
Yeah, I've got the Kindle.
I was reasonably impressed. I'm going to sit down and write you a review.
Okay.
It came out of completely left field for me. There has been I've seen lots of memes complaining about the traditional, like teenage boy goes and saves the world.
Mm-hmm.
This has been an overdone trope. We need old characters who are willing to risk their lives. And
I just turned 50 and I got email from AARP. So I'm all for the older heroes now.
yeah. And this was done really, really well. I really enjoyed it. I to be actually absolutely honest with you, for the first 40 pages, I'm going, it's like, okay, these are two old people dying slowly. I'm really not
Very depressing.
And then it's sort of revealed that it's more than that. And it goes in places that we would be very happy for it to go. So I'll get a review out this week.
Thanks. Well, I like with this show, I told Laird on the phone the other day, I said, I'm going to have Jed and Trevor on, and I'm sure I'll make some more people aware of them, but by and large, they don't need my help. They're doing great,
Yeah.
But I like to also talk about, people who are doing great stuff, like Janine Pite, and maybe not a lot of people know about them. So, I want them to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, Jed, Trevor, thanks so much for being here, guys.
Of course, this
Thank
was
you.
super fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. I'll nab you sometime in February and we'll do
Sure.
this
Yeah.
again.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Hopefully, I'll have
So-
some more projects I can actually talk about by then.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys for being here.
Yeah.
Rick and Pete, and I
Cheers,
know
guys.
Matt had to go. Thanks for being here, and thanks to all my patrons who let me do this instead of putting widgets together in a factory or something. I appreciate it. And let's see, who do we have next week? Oh yeah, Christopher Buellman wanted to interview John Horner Jacobs, so it's going to be an easy Sunday for me.
Oh, nice.
I'm just going to smile and nod. I don't have to do anything. So, anyway, it's really great to see you guys. I mean, you guys are two really great guys with a lot of talent, and you've gotten a lot of attention lately. And I love to, talent is great, but talent with, humility and kindness is even better. You guys have that, and I appreciate that. So
Thanks so much. That's really nice.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.